Bill Clinton called Crazy Bernie a hypocrite for criticizing his wife for taking large speaking fees from Goldman Sachs and other. You know, about that, I'm sorry, I can't get through this without having to opine. I saw the number from, 2002 to the present, 2003, the Clintons combined. Are you ready for this, Rachel? The Clintons combined, just making speeches, for an income of around $115 to $120 million. Just making speeches. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the establishment works in miraculous ways to keep itself in the money. And one of the ways it does it is with tricks like this. The big banks and Wall Street are heavily invested in the Democrat Party. So if you want to make sure that the Clintons are flush, by the way, one of the reasons for keeping people wealthy, I'm going to tell you a little inside story. Back in my second year doing this, no, it would have been my fourth year, so it would have been 1992. I met somebody whose name you would know, who is in the media business, pretty big in the media business, and is conservative, who took me aside and said, here's my hope for you. My hope for you is that you are able to acquire enough wealth so that you are able to really be who you are and say what you really think without fear of loss. He wasn't offering to do it. Don't misunderstand. He's just his point was, if you acquire enough wealth, then you're really, really free to be who you are. If your daily existence doesn't depend on not angering people, if you can go through your day without fearing ticking somebody off who can hurt you financially, then you are going to have a much more honest career. Now, he was not offering to make me rich. Don't misunderstand. It was to me, it was another one of these opportunities to learn things that I've had presented to me by virtue of my own success here. It's one of the perks. So when I see the banks propping up the Clintons, I mean, they're not being offered $250,000 to come speak because what they say is so unique and the banks can't get it anywhere else. And whoever the bank's audience for these speeches are, either other employees or investors, it's not that the Clintons come and offer things that they can't get anywhere else. It's not that the Clintons have insight that others don't have. It's not that the Clintons, this is how the people in that club keep the individual members wealthy. It's how the wealth is spread. In the case of the Clintons, it is also how they invest in the possibility of the Clintons once again returning to the White House and thus being able to return favors. So a lot of people paying the Clintons money for speeches are actually people donating to the Clintons on the come, hoping that if they get elected, there will be reciprocity in terms of favorable policy or maybe an ambassadorship or what have you. But this is the way the world works, and this is why money is the mother's milk of politics. The Clintons came out of the... Now, they were not dirt poor, but the Clintons were not wealthy. They had nowhere near the money they've got now. How did they get it? How did the Clintons end up having a fortune of $150 million when they had Clinton's salary of $400,000 as president and Hillary, whatever she had as Rose law firm lawyer? They didn't have any money compared to this. I'm not saying they were dirt poor, but how they end up having $150 million for doing speeches? Are you kidding me? Nobody gets paid that much to do speeches because nobody has that much to say to make it that worth it. There's something else going on here. That's why Mrs. Clinton won't reveal the transcripts of these speeches. Something in them would give away the game. something in these either these speeches are filled with nothing but slathering, slavish, complimentary garbage about how great the banks are, how great Goldman Sachs is, and if that's in there, there is no way Mrs. Clinton wants her average voters to see that. As far as Democrat voters are concerned, Hillary and Bernie hate the banks. And if there's transcripts of speeches with Hillary out there praising the banks, talking about how wonderful the banks are, saving the world, the banks are protected, it would be a big problem. So there's no way you're ever going to see those transcripts. But I mean, $120 million are doing speeches. This is so phony, you can just see right through.